morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we should probably have a look at Stella Miracle over in Japan, what is going to be Stella Crown over here, because the set's now out in Japan, and it's early, don't get me wrong, but with the set being out, we can take a look at the most expensive, the most sought after cards in the set. Phrase it how you will, that's where we're going here. And let's start off at number 11, and yeah, I know I said we're doing a top 10, with an honourable mention for Darkspun EXE Special Illustration Rare, because honestly, it's kind of tied with a number 10, but I've had a look in a few places, and this isn't in the top 10, but I'm putting it at 2,000 yen, so it's basically the same as everywhere else, so I'm going to allow it. 2,000 yen, I should say, if we are going ahead and converting it into dollars, which I know most of you are probably going to work in a little more regularly, we're talking about $13, which seems, yeah, about right. $13 for the number 11 card in the set. It's not a particularly great card. It's not a terribly popular Pokemon, although, you know, it's a baked dog. It's cool. But really what we got going on here is just a really lovely artwork, and sometimes that carries us quite far. In at real number 10, we've got Full Art Briar. And this shouldn't really surprise anyone, because firstly, Briar's quite popular, and secondly, Briar as a card is a great card, and I'm convinced Briar is going to be great. I am slightly surprised that Full Art Crispin hasn't made the list, but it doesn't. Crispin is another supporter card I think is really good, but Crispin just doesn't make it on the list. Comes in about 1,600 yen. It's too low. 2,000 yen, like I said a second ago, is $13. But Briar is that supporter card whereby if your opponent's got exactly 2 prizes remaining, you can use this, and then you take an extra prize of your Terra Pokemon this turn. Great supporter card. People love it. Yes, there is a special illustration rare. Yes, we will be seeing that further up this list. We're not there yet. For now, we're at the bottom of the list at $13. And then there's actually a bit of a jump up to number 9, where we've got $22 for 3,500 yen. A little bit of a jump there. One of the biggest jumps we've even got in the list, honestly. And this is a Gold Terrapagos. And you know what? Yeah, Gold Terrapagos is pretty cool, honestly. People like Gold Terrapagos. It's a poster child of the set. I'm still of the opinion that the full art looks better. I think the full art is a cooler looking card. I understand not everybody agrees with me, and that's fine, but I'm putting it out there that I think the full art is a cooler card. The full art, of course, not on this list, actually very close. It's literally like 100 yen lower than number 10 on this list, but it doesn't make the list. We are not there. Of course, Terrapagos is also a very good looking card. It does, for 2 energy, 30 damage for each of your benched Pokemon, which is, you know, pretty good. You can't use it on the first turn, which is slightly annoying, but other than that, very, very nice card. Very good. Expect it to be coming around a bunch. Also, free energy 180, and basics other than colorless can't touch it next turn. That's also pretty cool. In at number 8 at 3,600 yen, we've got Bravery Charm, and it's a tiny bit more here. So this one is coming in at $23. And I'll be honest with you, I expected this one to be a little bit higher, because we know Bravery Charm's a great card. It's been out since Paldea Evolved. It sees a bunch of play. We know it's great. Everybody loves the card. I really genuinely thought this would be higher on the list. It's obviously not, but I really thought we'd get higher here. But it's a tool that gives basic Pokemon an extra 50 HP, sees play, will continue to see play, and there isn't a fancy version of it, and now we got a gold version, which is a fancy version of it, and that's pretty cool. In at number 7, the last gold card on the list, at 4,000 yen, we've got Area Zero Underdepths. Now this is a tiny bit more up at 4,000 yen, which brings us in at about $25. This is the stadium card that lets you have 8 bench Pokemon, just so long as one of your Pokemon in play is a Terra Pokemon. It's a cool card. I really thought Bravery Charm would be ahead of this. They're very close. And I do like that we've literally had the 3 gold cards in a row. But I do find it kind of interesting that this is a little higher than Bravery Charm. But it's still a cool card. It's still a stadium which I expect to see play. It's still a gold version thereof. So this makes perfect sense. In at number 6, we've got the Hydrapple Special Illustration Rare. The lowest illustration rare that gets on the list, bearing in mind, of course, that Dashman did not. And this is coming in at, again, 4,000 yen. So again, we're talking $25. Tied with Area Zero Underdebts, but if you look around, it generally tends to trend a little bit higher. And I love this card. I really like this card. Firstly, the T0 artwork is stunning. Secondly, we got an ability that once during your turn lets you attach a grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. And then you even get to heal 30 if you do. And then 2 energy, 30 damage, plus 30 more for each grass energy attached to all of your Pokemon. And I'm not saying you're going to combine this with Teal Mask Gogapon and it's going to be the best deck in the format. But I absolutely am telling you that's going to be a fun combo that me and a lot of other people are going to try out. And that's very cool. Now, in at number 5, we jump up to 4,500 yen for the Special Illustration Rare Galvantula. 4,500 yen, you're talking about $29. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'll take Hydrapple over this every day. I prefer the artwork, I prefer the card, and it's cool that we've got the whole Stellar Terra EX thing going on, and it's a very busy image. I know lots of people like that, but I don't know, I don't like the art as much. And then we got 2 energy, 110 but 220 against an EX or a V. And then 180 trash all energy from this Pokemon, or discard all energy from this Pokemon. And then your opponent can play item cards from their hand next turn. Maybe that's good. There's certainly potential there. And with all the tricks we've got, like the Crispin I mentioned earlier, we have got ways to potentially actually stream this so we can be using this attack every turn. It's going to be awkward, but it's doable. And then item locking while doing 180. I don't know, maybe I'm underselling Galvantula. Maybe it's a better card than I'm giving it credit for, and that's why it deserves to be up on this list. In at number 4, we've got the Full Art of Lucy, the star of the set, at 5,000 yen. 5,000 yen, you're talking roughly $32. And I say the star of the set because we're ahead of most of half of the special illustration rares here. We're ahead of all the gold cards. This is just a full art. Now, admittedly, 5,000 yen is actually just a smidge below the retail of a box. Box retails at 5,400, so it's only the top 3 that will get you more value than a box by themselves. But a full art up this high is quite unusual. Lacey is pretty cool. People like Lacey. It's also a really good card, because you get to shove your hand into your deck and draw 4 cards. But if your opponent's got 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, you draw 8 instead. So this is basically your, it's the end of the game, my opponent's going to win. Quick, give me a big influx of cards. And you know what? That's pretty cool. In at number 3, we got the special illustration rare of Briar. This is coming in at 6,000 yen, or about $38. And this is cool. It's a nice special illustration rare. It's Briar, and it's a really good card. Remember, like I told you a minute ago, you get to literally take extra prizes. And that kind of explains why we're here, honestly. This explains why we're doing as well as we are. People like this card. This is a very cool card. Nice. In at number 2, we got the special illustration rare of Terrapagos in at $13,000. Again, you might have noticed there has been a big jump here. We're up to $83. We've actually more than doubled. There was a pretty big jump between 9 and 10. And then there was only $10 between 9 and 4. And then we saw a tiny jump between 3 and 4, and then we saw the big jump here for Terrapagos. This is one of the very big cards in the set. It's special illustration rare Terrapagos. The art is lovely, although again, I still prefer stuff like Hydrapple. And there is a very good chance, like I've said, this is actually a very good card. People are getting excited about this one. And then, of course, by now, you've probably guessed, in at number 1, Special Illustration Rare Lacey, coming in at 18,000 yen, which is honestly quite a lot for any Scarlet and Violet card right now. It's in at about $114. This is a pretty big deal. This is more than 3 times retail for a box, only a tiny bit more, but still more. And this is cool. This is the big card, and I actually love this one. I'm not always a big fan of the biggest cards in the set, but what we got here with Lacey is this really lovely scene in the school with Crispin's on there as well. Didn't get their own Special Illustration Rare, but did get to come in on this one. And it's just lovely artwork, and there's a lot going on here, and I think it's awesome. So there we go. That's what you need to know. That's the top 10. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what your chase cards are for the set. Tell me if you think Lacey deserves to be as high as she is. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.